Hey guys, this is Weds. Today is March 9th, 2020, and we are going to talk about the Division 2's new recalibration system. If you are a new player, you are in the right place. And if you are a returning player, you are also in the right place, but you need to forget everything you knew about the old system. Whether you are in the New York side or the Washington, D.C. side, the recalibration system works the same. But let's just show you how to locate the recalibration stations. That way you are not wandering around. In New York, when you fast travel to Haven, you will land by Agent Kelso downstairs. Just go up the stairs, locate the Haven vendor guy. Once in front of him, look to your left, you'll see the recalibration station. On a side note, the crafting station is on the opposite side of it, just so you know. In Washington, D.C., however, when you fast travel to the White House, land in front of the base of operations, work your way inside, the vendor on your right, specializations table on your left, go through the double door, make a left. The crafting and recalibration stations are on your left side. Anyway, for the purpose of this video, we are going to use the Washington, D.C. recalibration station. So let's just open it up. The first option is the recalibration station, and the second option is recalibration library. Recalibration station is the option for you to transfer an item from one piece of gear to another one, be it weapons or armor. On the other side of things, the recalibration library is where you store every item that you plan to use in the future build. My advice is start putting stuff in the library as soon as possible. You can extract talents from blue gear if you plan to use it in the future. Now we are going to take a look at the recalibration station first. And if you look closely, you will notice that the top section is for weapons and the bottom section is for gears. Here is how all this works. Let's open the recalibration station. Recalibration station on your left, as we mentioned before. And on top, you have all the weapons, and on the bottom, you have all the gears. Now, say for instance, you want to recalibrate the rifle, an item in a rifle that you like. So you would go to rifle, for instance. Rifle, all the rifles that you currently have will be open, and then you pick the one that you have. In this instance, I am going to pick the military MK17. And as you can see, if you're looking at the screen right now, you see there's recalibration station on top and the recalibration library on top, and on your right side you see where it says replacement. Right now my cursor is currently on core attributes, rifle damage, and it says on the right side no replacement found. That means I do not have anything to replace this in my library. That's why it says no replacement found. And then if I go down to critical hit damage, and it says no replacement found. And now I'm gonna go down to the attributes, and it says damage to armor, still no replacement found, right? But then we go down to the talents. Right now you're looking on your right, it says that I have replacement, and then it is the talent ignited. And then from there, because on my MK17 I have reformation, I don't like reformation and I want to switch it to ignited, so I would click on the reformation, and then it will allow me to transfer ignited to my MK17. But you need to have resources in order for that to work, because if you don't have resources, you're going to see that down the bottom the transfer button is grayed out. But if I had enough resources, it'll allow me to transfer it, and then now my MK17 will have ignited instead of reformation. That's how you calibrate your weapons. And let's go to the gear, and then it'll be the same thing pretty much. So now, for instance, the mask is the first thing, but let's say I go to the body armor. Okay, body armor, and I want to recalibrate one of my body armor. So say for instance I want to calibrate this one. All right, I will click on it, right? And then I'll do the same thing that I did for the weapon. I'll go down to see if I have anything available, right? So you just click to see what you have available. But you would already know whether you have something available or not because you have already put everything in your library, and then you will be able to transfer them. That's the gist of how you recalibrate, item from one weapon to another and from one piece of gear to another. Now that we have the concept of the recalibration for weapons and gear, now let's go to the recalibration library. All right, so we click on the recalibration library, and the same thing, the same view, you would have rifles and assault rifle, and all the weapons will be on the top half, and then on the bottom you will have all the gear. It looks like the same thing. There's really no difference. The only difference in here that you can see right there on so if you're paying close attention, it says where it says level 31 to 40. So if you start in New York, so that's what you're gonna have because you're trying to get to the level cap 31 to 40. However, if you are a returning player or a player that already has stuff that were level 30, so all you have to do is just click the button that says to switch levels. Once I switch level, it'll give me from level 0 to 30. So if you have an old gear that has a talent or some kind of item that you would like to transfer to put in your library, you can do that. So for me, I don't have anything because I already sold and deleted everything that I had from level 30. So that's why I don't see anything. So let's go back to level 31 to 40. So for level 31 to 40, so when you look at the screen, you'll see the weapons and gear that have like a little green arrow. I think it's green. I'm colorblind, but I think it's green. It's got an arrow pointing up, and that means you have something in that weapons or piece of gear that you can extract. So that's why you're here. So if, for instance, in this assault rifle right now, there's no little arrow pointing up, so that means I don't have anything in the assault rifle that I can transfer right now in my inventory. So let's take, for instance, let's go to LMG, right? And let's go to the LMG. So I am looking for either core attributes or talents. So let's go to talents. It says I have 2 that can be improved, and I also have 4 already in my library. So if I were to transfer something in the library, so you would look right here, and then you will see is something that is highlighted, and then it says you get extraction available. That's 1, and then that's the talent spike, and then you also have another one available right here. It's eyeless, so I can then transfer those to the library, and they will be in my library permanently. For the purpose of this video, let's do this exercise. So let's do the eyeless first. So down there it says show extractable items, so I will click on it, and right now the RPK 74, it's got the talent eyeless, and I can then extract that, and right now it says extract internals. So I would press the corresponding button, whether since I'm on Xbox it's the X, so let me extract that. So I hold the button, it'll extract it, then now it becomes available for me permanently in my library. So eyeless is no longer highlighted, but spike is still highlighted. So that means I need to put that in my library. That way in the future, if I want to use the spike talent, and I can use it for my LMG. So I'm gonna do the same thing, and then I'm gonna hold the button, and then it's going to transfer it. And then once I transfer that to my library, that means it is available in my library. Now, when we look at the difference in all the talents, it says that I have 6 out of 20 available. And all the ones that you see that are in white, that means I have them available for me for my LMG. That way I can use them in another LMG if I want to transfer that talent. And there's all those ones. But the other one that I kind of grayed out, they're in the dark. They say you need to go find me some perks or some talents so you can come and make me light up. That's what exactly that's what this is saying. So that's that for the weapon. So we took the example of an LMG, but it works the same way for whether you want an attribute or you want the core attribute. But it will tell you whether you have something available or not for the LMG. Like right now, there's nothing available for the core attribute for me for LMG. It's all the stuff that I already have. And for the attributes, there's nothing. Okay, so there's nothing. Nothing is lit up. So that means I have nothing. Yeah, well, yeah, for the core attribute, yeah, I do have something, but they're not anything that I want to put in the library because they kind of low. When you look at on the right side, it says the max for LMG damage is 15%, and this one is like, well, let's say about like 8, or yeah, probably like maybe 5% or something like that. That's not what we want, so we're not gonna do that. And then also for the damage to target out of cover, same thing. You say the max is 12%, so I don't have that many percentage, so you would not waste your time trying to transfer something that you're gonna have to improve later on. So let's go back now. We did the weapon, so let's go to armor or gear. All right, so let's take for instance body armor. So right now it's the body armor said that I have 14 in the library, and then let's see the backpacks for instance. Right, let me take a backpack. And then let me look in the talents. So the first thing I'm looking is the talents, and then it says I have a few available. So I have shock and awe available. So basically I'm gonna transfer everything that is available as far as talents is concerned, because whether the talent is in a blue gear or superior gear or a high-end gear, you can transfer it. If it's available, then you can transfer it. So let's do this exercise right now. The same thing, it says I can extract it. So once I extract it, it will go in my library. So when it is in my library, you'll see that it lit up in white. So that means I will have it available. And then right now on the bottom, I also have leadership. So I can do that too, as long as it is a piece of gear that I am not using or I don't want. But it doesn't matter, because you will find another piece of gear that you can use that talent for. So I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm going to extract this, keep holding the button. And now I have this available. So, and I also have some other ones, but we don't want to make the video so long. So I'm just going to leave those alone. So, but everything that you see that is in white, that means I have them available. So when you look at it, says backpack talents. As far as backpacks are concerned, I have 15 out of 21 that are permanently available for me to use on my backpack whenever I want to. That way I can create my build and make it work. So basically the way this works, if the talent is in there, that means you can transfer it. But if it is not in there, that means you cannot transfer it. For instance, there are some piece of gear that you will find in the world that has a talent that is called perfected. For instance, let's look at this one. On my gear, I'm gonna look at my gear real quick, and I'm gonna show you the example that I'm trying to give here. This one, right? If you look at my Badger 0F's Badger Tough, I have a talent called perfectly unbreakable. You cannot transfer this one. No matter how hard you try, you will not be able to transfer this. So for when the talents, as far as they are concerned, you can have irregular talents, and you can also have one that is perfectly for that talent. What that does, it gives you an extra bonus. For instance, the regular unbreakable will give you 95% repair for your armor, but for the perfect unbreakable, it will give you 100%. That's the difference. And then so that means it's a lot better. So they don't allow you to transfer the perfectly talent, because I guess that would be too OP. That's why they won't let you. So even if you try, you won't be able to. But you can also transfer the regular unbreakable, but you cannot transfer the for instance, let me show you in the calibration station. In the library for talents, this is unbreakable. I have unbreakable on lock, and then as it says right here, for unbreakable, when your armor is depleted, repair 95% of your armor, and then the cooldown is 60 seconds. whereas the perfectly unbreakable is 55 seconds cooldown, and it gives you 100% of your armor whenever it's depleted. So that is a lifesaver. This is one of the best survival talents that I can tell you about. I've used that throughout the campaign, trying to go from level 30 to 40, and it works out pretty good for me. So if you can find that talent, make sure you use it, in my opinion. But that's just a preference, whether or not what you're trying to do. You know what I mean? So that's that. So I guess that's basically all you need to know about the recalibration system. And so it's for the recalibration for weapons and armor, and then also the library where you put all the items that you need, that you are going to use for your build in the future. But what you need the resources in order for you to be able to recalibrate an item. But for the library, when you put in the library, you don't need to have any resources. It just give you the option to do that. And if you can have all of them, then you will be in good hand, and then you will be able to create those builds that you wanna play with, and make your life a lot better in the Division 2. And I hope this helps, and I hope I give you the best information that I possibly could, and hopefully you learned something from this video. I will say thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys later.